iron in the soul. What's up, YouTube? This is Iron and Soul. Back today with another very important message. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think about my content. In addition to that, please feel free to follow me on Instagram at @TheKingJabez. It will be greatly appreciated. Well, man, let's do some work. Let's continue this 30-day series. We are today on day 21. We are 3 weeks in, and I want to drop this video today concerning sexual soul ties. And so I want to talk about what that is and how to really identify that in your life. In addition to that, I will be providing, of course, some solutions on how to break those soul ties, how to gain freedom, and to regain that territory in your life. We think about a war. A war is often a war over land and territory. It's to think about the territory of a human, of a man in particular in this context. Your spirit, your soul, and your body is territory that could belong to yourself and to the Most High, or it could belong to unclean spirits. And when you have sexual soul ties, granted, if you have a soul tie to your wife, then of course that's a positive soul tie. So let me kind of explain that right away. A soul tie is a connection in spirit, soul, and body. And that could be a very positive thing when it's the right person. When you have a wife, of course, when you have a wife, there's a soul tie that's formed. Of course, this is why the Hebrew scriptures teach that the two become one. That's what that really means. And so you become one in spirit, soul, and body. This is why people often joke about couples being together long enough begin to look alike. Why? Because you begin to mimic each other's, personality. You get really close, literally. I mean, a good couple that's been together for a while is like a unit. They are one. And so this is a positive thing. And we're not talking about that. We're talking about when that soul tie becomes negative. And this is causing problems in the area of your finances. Let's go there. This is causing problems in the area of your mind or your soul. And this is really causing areas problems in the area of your spirit, which is your connection to God. So when you have a bad soul tie, this affects the soul or the mind, the spirit, which communicates directly with the Most High. And this will, of course, can affect your physical body, diseases. I've done a video recently, or either a TikTok, I can't remember which one it was. I talked about the rise of STDs. It's a rise in that because many people are forming these casual sex soul ties. People don't take it serious anymore. It's not anything that's sacred. But the truth of the matter is, sex is a sacred act. Sex is a spiritual act. And this sacred spiritual act that is designed for marriage has become this casual experience based on the indoctrination. Okay, this is not because people are just out of their minds, but there are people in power who are promoting this message to weaken the nation. So the easy access to, on your phone, all over social media, that is by design because they want men to be weak. I'm going to just give it to you flat out, this Iron and Soul, you know how I'm coming. They want you to be weak. They don't want you to have the focus, the confidence, the strength, the testicular fortitude, the wisdom that comes with being a man who has discipline in the area of his sex life. So it is their agenda for you to form many sexual soul ties. And when this happens, you will not be as strong as you're supposed to be as a man. Bottom line, period. Proverbs 31 verse 3 says it very clearly. Give not thy strength unto women. Right? Notice it doesn't say woman, but women. Nor thy ways to that which destroys kings. So, of course, a good woman doesn't destroy a king. A good woman is good for a king. What is destroying kings is women, plural. You follow? And a woman is a great thing when it's a righteous woman, a beautiful woman, a queen that could be your soulmate. And that's a positive soul tie, you see? But the problem here is not that. The problem here is when you have women, plural, who are leading you to do what you should not do sexually. And that's the problem. And this becomes an issue for you all across the board. As I pointed out in a video before, I won't do that today in this video, but I'll say it briefly. Your problem is not lust. Go look up that old video I did, about maybe 6 months ago. Your problem is not lust, it is idolatry. What happens is that the desire for the woman literally takes over your heart. It hijacks your heart, a place that is designed for worship. And what happens is, instead of worshiping and following the Most High, catch this, you begin to worship women. And some of you guys right now, you don't understand this, but low-key, you worship women. Now, I'm pretty sure you never thought of it that deeply. But that's exactly what it becomes. You say, all right, why are you saying that? That's all you think about. If you find yourself thinking about the body of a woman all day, granted, we're all men. We're going to have lustful thoughts, okay? I'm not going to sit here and play holy in and out. We're human. I understand that. And that's healthy to a degree because your sex drive, having a healthy one, according to my research, I'm into fitness too, is a sign that you are in good shape, that you are healthy, right? So that's a good thing. The problem is when that natural, right, healthy sex desire becomes an obsession. And now that's all you think about, and now you're willing to pursue that pleasure at the expense of your goals, at the expense of your physical health, at the expense of your relationship to the Most High, at the expense of relationship to your wife. You get where I'm going with this. At the expense of your job, because this is what men have lost chasing their own women. Let me talk to you. Men have lost their jobs, okay? Men have lost their livelihood. They have lost their wife. They have created friction between them and their own children, right? They have got diseases, okay? STDs, AIDS. That happens. So many men have went down this path. And so this is not to say, somehow you're just a terrible person for doing this. This is an issue that brings down strong men. So you can be a strong, righteous, godly man and get caught up in this. This is how powerful this temptation is. And so we have to be very careful with this, and we have to be intentional about escaping this trap that destroys millions of men all across the globe. Unclean spirits are attached to unclean behavior. Let me say it again. Unclean spirits are attached to and promote and push unclean behavior. So when you're consistently losing your seed as a man, the wrong way. Now, it's one thing if you're with your wife, that's your business. But if you're consistently losing your seed through self-pleasure, we're all men here talking, or through being with women you shouldn't be with, okay, you know who they are, then this is lead you down the path of perversion. And once you go down the path of perversion, you are on very dangerous territory. See, the word fornication comes from the Greek word porneia, Porneia. And it essentially means harlotry, adultery, incest, and idolatry. So once you go down that path of uncleanness, you open yourself up to the spirit of fornication. I'm going to talk to you plain. I know some of you don't like this. You're mad at me. I'm your big brother, so I got to tell you the truth, okay? You say, man, give me something. I'm giving you something, but let me talk to you. Let me help you out. Because some of you guys listen to me right now, mark my word, you guys 1834, you know your brother Iron ain't no dummy. Come on now, cuz. 1834, that's one of the biggest problems guys your age have, is women. Why do you think these talks are so popular online? You think I got to this age and I'm dumb? Come on, man. You know I remember being 25 when that long ago for me. Them hormones are raging, teed up. You gotta have to control that, man. You gotta control that. I know. That's why I'm talking to you. You think I wasn't 25? Come on. So it's gonna be difficult to escape that spirit of fornication. Why do you think seed retention is so difficult to do? If it was easy, everybody would do it. But we know from those of us who practice this, it's not something everyone does. It is a 1% practice because most men, this is not a condemnation, it's just an obvious observation, cannot escape the snare of harlotry, adultery, incest, and fornication. They just can't say no. And you know what? With all fairness, I'm your big brother. Hey, let's talk. Let's have a real conversation. There are a lot of women out here not making it easy for you. They're not making it easy. They are accessible. They are on that. Do you hear me? If you got a little something going for yourself and you got a little bread, they right there. They own that with you. It is available. So you're gonna have to be strong to say no to that. When you have the resources and you have and not even that, just you look good too, on top of that, and you're strong, oh my goodness, they coming your way. Your big brother I have been through this. Let's talk about women. They just aggressive as men are. Come on, they'll tell you how good you look. They'll talk about how you're tall. I'm tall, by the way, Iron Soul, for those who never seen me in person. I'm 6'2". I'm in shape. Bearded, deep voice. Women, they will and they have commented on all that too, by the way. They have commented on my height. I love that deep voice. Come on now. You know, this Iron talking to you. They ain't no dummy. This is your big brother. I'd have been down this path. Ooh, I love that deep voice. I've never been with a tall man before. They are aggressive. And I had to overcome that. You say, yes, you are? Yes, I had to say no to that. You guys know this. Come on, man. This is Iron. I worked in a church for 10 years. You know what type of time women was on with me. Come on, man. Coming up in that church every week with a nice suit on, haircut, cologne on, come on. And they see my wife and know my wife look good. Let me talk to you. This big brother Iron. I had to turn down a lot of women. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just being honest with you. A lot of them. And by the way, it still happens. They're at the gym. They see you out in public. They see you at work. They see you mind your business. They're still there. They're online. They'll message you from time to time. I get those DMs. Don't think I don't get no DMs. And I have to control myself. Why? Because I am making a decision to do what I teach you guys, and that is to put my purpose over pleasure. You understand? That's not just talk with me. That's a way of life. We as men have to put our purpose over our pleasure. And when we do this, we can prosper. So there has to be a cleansing process. Let me take you to the book for a second. You know I'm going to take you to the book. 2 Corinthians 7 verse 1 says this, having therefore these promises, dear beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of what? Flesh and spirit. You see how that's connected? The flesh and spirit are connected, brother. Perfecting holiness in the fear of God. So how this works is, if you want to practice seed retention, let me talk to you deeply. You have to deal with that in the spiritual and physical level. Bottom line, you have to cleanse your flesh and your spirit. Some of you guys are working on the spirit, but you're not working on the flesh. And some of you guys are working on the flesh, but you're not working on the spirit. What do you mean by that, Iron and Soul? You got to work on it physically. Okay, that means working out, doing your push-ups, running, doing something with that physical energy. You got to do that. Okay, sexual transmutation, you know all about that. And then secondly, and this is what a lot of you guys mess up at, you never deal with the spirit. You have to deal with the spirit. So you have to pray, you have to meditate, you have to journal, you have to read books. This is the problem a lot of you guys have. You do everything physically right? You're not on the sites. You're not on your phone scrolling, doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. You didn't stop masturbating, which is a good thing. You're doing everything right, but you're not doing anything with your spirit. And if you don't address the spirit, I told you guys before, I'll tell you this again. I'm going to keep telling you guys this. I'm going to keep on preaching this. You cannot outwork a demon. Demons have to be cast out. So if you're constantly working and the devil is still there lurking, it's only a matter of time. And this is why a lot of you guys relapse, by the way. Let me talk to you. You relapse because you never dealt with it in the spirit. You dealt with it in the physical. And you can restrain physically for so long before you relapse. But what's happening with a lot of you men, you're never dealing with, let me be honest with you, you're not dealing with the devil. You're not dealing with the demon. And that's why you keep getting that door open up in your life. Because you're dealing with it on a physical level. You're in your gym, you're hitting your 315. I'm talking to you, you're hitting your squats. That's all good, by the way. Keep doing all of that. But with that weightlifting and running and everything else, add to that your reading. Add to that your prayer, your meditations, your affirmations for the day. You got to deal with the spirit too, man. We're not just physical. We are spirit, soul, and body. That has been my heartbeat the whole time I've been on Iron and Soul. I have been about holistic spirit, soul, and body transformation. I'm not no extremist. I'm about keeping it real all across the board. So if you want to deal with this devil called lust, you got to deal with this devil on a physical perspective, body, spirit, which is your spirit of man, and your soul, your mind, the intellect, the intelligence, the will, the desire, the emotion. All three have to be transformed if you have any idea or any desire rather to break and to be free from sexual soul ties. And I have to be honest with some of you guys. Some of you guys, truth be told, you have went down the level of perversion. You have went down the path or the way of perversion. Again, there's one thing to have sex desire, but perversion is something completely different. And so some of you guys are in a place now where, you're somewhere mentally you don't want to be. This is your brother Iron talk to you. Let me talk to you. Be real. This is not a judgment. This is an honest assessment for doing these videos 3 years now. Okay? Some of you guys have went into the spirit of perversion and it's messed your mind up. Okay? Perversion, what does it really mean? It basically means to distort, false, crooked, right? To commit iniquity. And simply put, unfortunately, pervert. Now, no man wants to be called a pervert. That's something you just feel like a creep when someone says that. And you should. So, if you get to a place when this is what you have become, you need to change. Okay? If you got to a place where you're now a pervert, you need to address this before you end up doing something you shouldn't do. Okay? Because the spirit of perversion will have you in jail. Let me talk to you. Have you with a disease, have you messed up, have you committing sexual sin, violence, all type of weird stuff. Some of you guys have opened yourself up to the spirit of perversion. Again, lust is one thing, and that can be dealt with. Lust is different from perversion. That's the new level, the next level. And once you get to that place, you're doing stuff in private that is shameful. And I'm just be honest with you, and you know that. This has led you to just get off track in your life. You're basically not even doing what's right, and this is something that um, can easily happen once you open yourself up to that spirit of corn. We use the word corn. The spirit of corn, what comes with that, the sin of onism. Okay, we can use some classy terminology so I don't get banned or have problems with YouTube. But we know what that is. Okay, once you start looking at that corn and you open yourself up to the spirit of onanism, onasim, onanism. Okay, you go down that path. Now you're playing around with the spirit of perversion. And this opens you up, lastly, to the spirit of whoredom. Let's talk about that for a second. The spirit of whoredom works very closely with the spirit of Jezebel. We talked about Jezebel before, the spirit of witchcraft, of intimidation, domination, and manipulation. See, these are the spirits, listen to this, these are the demons that the ancient Hebrews brought with them, check this out, when they left Egypt. Let's do a little research for a second. The Hebrews were in Egypt how many years? Over 400 years, right, as slaves. So in that 400-year period of time, guess what happened? They picked up some of the ways of the Egyptians. They picked up some of their customs. And a big problem there, of course, in ancient Egypt was all type of lust and debauchery and sexual parties. And that was a thing. It's part of the culture. And we see that right now today. That's the culture today. That's the culture today. Right now, through music industry, entertainment, social media, that culture is being pushed of just this loose sexual character. And those demons that left Egypt followed them into the promised land. And they had problems. And so much so they were committing sexual sins and orgies in the wilderness. And it got so bad that God had to kill some of them. This is all recorded in the Hebrew scriptures. He had to kill some of them to purge them of that evil. So those spirits, those demons of whoredom, followed the Hebrews a long time ago. And guess what? They're still following people of God today. They're right there. In this spirit of whoredom, it brings a curse. And it opens you up for the spirit of witchcraft, lust, prostitution, okay, fornication, we already broke down what that means. Idolatry, which takes away your ability and your heart to do the right thing. And it messes your heart up, right? This stuff begins to dilute and to pollute your mind and your spirit. And all of this happens when you open yourself up to these ancient demons from Egypt of fornication and idolatry. And the ancient Hebrews had that problem back then, and it's happening right now, today, in 2023. So, as I close this video, guys, I'm going to just talk to you for a minute. You got to be a focused man. A focused man is a dangerous man. You have to have this razor sharp focus. That focus that LeBron James had during that playoff run when he made the decision to distance himself from his wife, intimately speaking, for about 3 months. That's the focus you need. That focus that David Hay had over in the UK, boxing, when he would control himself for up to 6 weeks for the purpose of retaining vitamins, nutrients, going forward, keeping himself strong spiritually, physically, mentally. You gotta have the focus of Prince, the singer. Prince understood this concept. In fact, he said it in so many words that, celibacy is like fasting. So what Prince was saying is that he understood that sex can be good within proper context, but there's a time when a person should fast from that natural right for a greater cause. And in his case, it was to create music, to create this magical experience that people had listening to his music, his albums, his acting, movies, and everything else. And so great men understand the importance of sexual discipline. We could talk about Bruce Lee. We could talk about Mike Tyson. We could talk about Steve Jobs. We could talk about a whole host of men. We can go to, right now, another actor who's very well known for this, and Terry Crews. Trying to think of his name. A man who openly admitted to having an issue with corn addiction, and that's something that a strong man would do, to admit his fault before the whole world. He didn't have to do that, but he did. But he admitted that because he was able to also, as a strong man, overcome that. And one of the things he did was him and his wife, they went on a 90-day sex fast. He was that serious about it. He said, you know what, in other words, said, as a man, I am about to gain control over this. And he did. So now he is a man in his 50s. He's an advocate for this in the area of sexual control and how important that is. So he went on a 90-day sex fast for the purpose of regaining that territory. And some of you guys, you may need to do that. Some of you guys listen to this video right now. You say, okay, all right, how to break this soul tie? You may need to go on a 1 month to 3 months sex fast. That would not be a bad idea for you. and it's something I've done before. It's helpful for me. In fact, I went on a 1-month sex fast some years ago in my marriage when I was having some issues. Being a man here, being honest about that. And guess what? That really helped me and my wife out, because it showed my wife and myself that this doesn't control me. This doesn't make me who I am. And so I encourage you to consider that. Obviously, of course, pray, spend time in meditation, talk to other men. I do offer consultation calls where I go into more detail. Read my book, Becoming Strong as I Am. I give a lot of experience in terms of my personal journal and how I was able to achieve 8 years of celibacy in my 20s. So I would suggest that as well. And at the bottom line, man, just take it one day at a time, fight each day, and experience victory. This is your brother Iron and Soul. Thanks for listening to this video. God bless. Peace.